Hi, scumbags. Andrew Fantasia here. It's been a while, and I'm here to do a book review for you. We had a bunch of books that came out this year, and around this time, there's more coming very soon. We got this Princess and Scoundrel thing, which looks pretty beautiful if that cover is any indication. I miss covers like this so much. That's not what I want to talk to you about today. I've got a book review that's going to blow your pants off, and it's this right here. Futurama comics. Okay, it's not this. It's actually going to be a Star Wars thing, but I just unearthed my old Futurama comics from my storage room because I missed them and I wanted to read them. And I mean, they're not Star Wars, but they do involve space travel and spaceships and aliens and things like that. And if you're a Futurama fan, these comics are like spot on, really, really fun. They're so well written. Sometimes they actually have writers from the shows. You've probably heard me talk about them before on Rebel Scum podcast, and I've talked to James about them before. I have this issue right here, the very famous Futurama Comics number 14, which is a comic that you can read 7 different ways. And it explains how you do it. It's kind of simple, really. You either read it normally or you read just the top left panel of each page and that tells a story, or just the top right and that will tell the story. And it all works together. The person who wrote this, Patrick Verone, he writes for the show. He's a genius. And apparently Futurama's coming back. Remember, like half a year ago, we heard that. So if that's true, this is an excited boy right here that you're looking at. So I don't know. Maybe you can dig these out of like an old comic warehouse or something. I don't know. But if you find Futurama comics anywhere, they are worth it. But I'm here to talk about the Star Wars. And the book I want to share with you today is Adam Christopher's Shadow of the Sith. I'm going to be very brief to avoid spoilers, but I am going to, I think, spoil one key thing, which I feel like it hasn't been formally announced, but you really should know it going in. And that's who 2 of the main characters are. Because there are 4 main characters in Shadow of the Sith, 2 of which are right here on the cover. Luke Calrissian and Lando Skywalker. Those names aren't right, but that's them. Luke and Lando are very much in this book. They're very prominent. Who is this person? Ooh, you're going to have to read the book to find out. But the other 2 main characters, and again, I'm like 99.8% sure this is not a spoiler, are 2 people named Dathan and Miramir, otherwise known as Mommy and Daddy to Rey. Rey's parents, this is their story. And that's why I not only would say that Shadow of the Sith is a beautiful piece of the overall Star Wars saga puzzle that you absolutely should check out if you get a chance. I'm going to say maybe for the first time ever when it comes to a new canon book, I'm going to say that this is required reading. By the way, if you hear weird noises in the background, I apologize. My dishwasher is running because all the dishes got to be cleaned and I can't just lick them clean like The Hobbit. You know, we got to run them through a machine. It's a process. Anyway, Shadow of the Sith is, for the first time in my opinion, in new canon, a book that is absolutely required reading. If you were doing a marathon of just the shows and the movies, this needs to be there because of how much it features not only 2 of the biggest characters in the saga, Luke and Lando, but how much it features Rey's parents and how much it tells you about them. This is essentially their story. Almost everything you need to know, at least about their lives since they have Rey, since they bore a child together, everything you need to know about their lives is covered in Shadow of the Sith. That's why it's also like one of the biggest new canon Star Wars books. This is a long book because there's a lot to go through here. There's a lot of story. And The Rise of Skywalker, God bless that movie, really just needed to be 2 movies long, and it wasn't. So there's a lot of stuff that you just don't get in that movie that really would have been nice to get. Some things would have been nice to get, some things you didn't really need, some things you absolutely needed, but in all 3 cases, Rise of Skywalker did not put it in that movie. And one of the things that you didn't absolutely need, but it would be nice to see, is not only some more fleshing out for Dathan and Miramir, but some more fleshing out for another certain character. Remember when I said this book has 4 main characters? I lied. There are 5 of them, and the 5th one is on the back cover right here. Mr. Ochi of Bestoon. He's got a wrinkly face, and that Sith dagger might look mighty familiar. We never hear Ochi of Bestoon speak in the movies, but he plays a huge part in this book, and he's also in the Darth Vader comics right now. But I like to imagine that he sounds just like Gilbert Gottfried. What do you mean the Sith Lord is coming to get me? I also say that Shadow of the Sith is required reading because it's one of the, if not the only, Star Wars novel that feels like an adventure. I did a video with Rebel Scum, I want to say many months ago, where we had sort of a roundtable discussion where I brought up the fact that I think the novels are the worst part of Star Wars canon just because they don't feel like adventure. They just feel like cold, dry sci-fi. The majority of the novels do. Shadow of the Sith ain't one of those novels, my friends. It is an adventure through and through. You are hopping from so many planets. This book had like more planets than the whole sequel trilogy combined in it. It's nuts. And you meet so many great characters and so many interesting parts of the galaxy that are new, or parts of the galaxy that are familiar, or characters that you've already known that you get to see interacting with other characters in new ways. It even ties in with some really cool Easter eggy things that happened in some of the other novels. I would suggest going back and reading Aftermath 2 and 3 again, if you maybe want to know what I'm talking about. There's just so much in here that we as canon fans love. There's so much in here that just plain old simple Star Wars fans love. There's so much in here that is Star Wars. And if you know Rebel Scum Podcast, one of the things that we really like is the Star Wars. We think Star Wars is kind of neat. This is like 800 pages of it. So I hear the Padawan book is great. Sure, I hear this Princess and Scoundrel book might be nice, even though it seems like a lot of it is just taking place on Endor. Fine. And High Republic, I think High Republic's fine, whatever. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. But if you're only reading one Star Wars book right now, please make it Shadow of the Sith. The emotional journey you go on is going to be a stunning one that no other book besides maybe Bloodline and maybe Lost Stars have really gotten to take you on. The chunk of the canon story that it tells is the most crucial piece of Star Wars storytelling that has ever been put in text-only form. It really is. I can't stress that enough. If you need important parts of canon filled in, you're never going to find a book that does that job better than this. And I really hope that future authors literally take a page out of this book and learn from that. And obviously you don't want them to go overboard with it and then all the important stuff happens outside of the main movies, like Assassin's Creed. I'm looking in your direction, killing off the main villain not in a video game. Are you people nuts? Anyway, I hope it doesn't get too out of hand like that, but it would be nice if more of these novels found these chunks of story that were A, important to the fans, and B, missing from the movies and shows, and spelled that out for you in there. That would be pretty groovy. Speaking of things that are kind of important that we should know more about, I'll give you a taste of one right now, just before we end this video. Lando's got a daughter. We all know that now. I don't remember exactly where that was confirmed, if that was actually confirmed in Rise of Skywalker or just somewhere else, but Lando had a daughter. He doesn't know where she is. You're going to find out more about that story. Not a whole lot more, but you're going to find out more than the movie gave you, and it helps. It helps going into that movie now. It helps flesh things out. It makes Rise of Skywalker a little bit better just by association. I'm going to end the video here, but please do yourselves a favor. If you only read one thing, read Shadow of the Sith. If you only read two things, read Shadow of the Sith and some Futurama comics. But do yourself that favor as a Star Wars fan, as a canon fan. This is not only a crucial piece of the puzzle, it is required canon reading, which is like a totally new thing. I might have to make a new graphic for that. I don't know. But in the meantime, that has been this book review, scumbags. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you thought of Shadow of the Sith if you read it. Tell me what you thought of this new Padawan book that honestly I didn't even know existed until I saw people posting pictures of it. And tell me what you think of Princess and the Scoundrel, which is supposed to be coming out soon. Let me know how that works. Is that as in-depth into the storytelling as this is? Because I don't think I'm going to pick that one up unless I hear that it is. My bookshelf space is running pretty low. But I will talk to you all next time, and until I do, my friends, until that D23 announcement comes, we know it's coming. Something, please, something, pretty please, for D23, and Andor, which is very soon, so yay. But until all those things start happening, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.